Hey yo, what's good everyone? My name is Xever the Jester, and in this video I'm going to be telling you how to get your PS4 Skyrim playthrough to look like a PC playthrough. This is the closest I've gotten to making the game look absolutely like breathtaking. This isn't just Whiterun either, this is like pretty much every city that I go to. I also created a few other mod bundles is what I call them. It's like a mix of every different type of mod that you could use to make something look better than it is, rather than just getting a big mod. But this is what Whiterun looks like, so honestly I think it looks really good, and I'm going to be telling you how you can get other cities to look very similar and still be able to have your PS4 not die of frame rate. You'll get like every a little bit of lag spiking every once in a while, but not bad at all, really. I think the only thing you'll have to deal with is floating buckets. But if that does happen, just grab it and then...
You can't stand the sight of a strong-lord woman?
That doesn't work. Okay. I'm going to show you guys the mods that I use to get this type of playthrough and the order that they're in the load order, just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So without further ado, let's go. That butterfly just fucked up that sign. Damn. Let's get right into it, because I hate long intros. Okay, so the overhaul mods. Let's go over those first. We've got Epic Enhanced Riverwood, Whiterun, A City Full of Life, Epic Enhanced Winterhold, Dawnstar Special Edition, and Enhanced Cities. Now, the first question you guys may have is, does Enhanced Cities conflict with any of these overhauls? The answer is no, it doesn't. It actually adds on to it, because city overhauls majority of the time deal with things that are inside the city, or if enhanced city mods, what that does is it kind of like decorates the outside of it, and maybe once in a while will change things on the inside. But for the majority of the time, it's the overhauls that deal with the inside of the city rather than outside. So you could be on the outside of the city and you'll be able to witness enhanced cities, whereas you go inside, you'll witness the overhaul. So personally, I only like to have certain mods for the cities that I visit the most, so I don't really have that many mods specifically for like Windhelm Solitude, because I don't really go there that often, but I do spend a lot of time in the northern area. But majority of the time I'm usually either in Whiterun, Riverwood, sometimes I'm here and there at Windhelm and Dawnstar, but I don't go there that often. Same thing with Riften. So I don't personally have many overhaul mods for them, but the graphics mods and everything else specifically does really well for those cities, because although I may not go there every once in a while, it still changes it. So when you actually do go there, you'll be like, oh shit, I actually forgot that this place looks really nice. So yeah, those are the overhaul mods that I use first, and notice that they are all the way at the top. So make sure that they are all the way at the top, except for the other mod that I have, which is I'm pretty sure it's the patch mod. But that's really the only mod that's above it. But that's because it has to be all the way at the top. So make sure your overhauls are usually all the way at the top. The next mod is actually really clever, I gotta be honest. I really do love this mod. It's called City Trees. Move. It adds trees to like every city, every major city and town. And yeah, that's really it. Let me go show you some more. But first I just want to say that I noticed this. That is really cool. That is really cool. No! Those dragons on the thing. Fucking move, bro. God damn, I'm about to uninstall your mod. Damn. I've got too many followers. Here's another example of city trees. They're all up in here. Like I said before, you could probably notice that not much has changed in Morthal in my playthrough. But that's because I don't really visit it too much for me to care. So if you are somebody who loves to visit places like Morthal, Dawnstar, Winterhold, Windhelm, Solitude, Markarth, and you find yourself spending a lot of time there, I recommend downloading other overhaul mods, whatever ones you like, because I personally can't really speak from experience when it comes to those type of overhaul mods, because I don't really use them that often. But I'm sure that you'll find one. Specifically, the ones that I like are ones from Julia, and he or she does really amazing overhaul mods. What? I did? I hurt you?
Huh?
Is there any reason you just interrupted my Skyrim mod review?
Let's get indoors.
Need something?
In a cave. Anywhere. Just
Need something?
this.
Need something? Need some? Need? Huh?
What is it? Even Khajiit have their limits. No. Is that all?
Even Kaji had their limits. No. I love you, Karja. Alright, worker, you live today. The next mod I recommend is called Bloom Remove, and it's made by Imperial Agent, the legend himself. Alright, so what this mod does is it just removes the annoying bloom blurry effect. You know, the effect where you look up and it gets a little bit blurry for whatever reason. I always hated that. And following that mod, you also want Realistic Rain, once again made by the legend himself, Imperial Agent. You guys see this in almost every playthrough, so I'm just gonna skip over it. Another thing is Viking Beard, Realistic Darkness. You guys have already seen these two, so once again, I will just skip right over it. Also, you've also seen Interesting Roads and Ancient Land. Go watch my other videos if you want to see that. Civil War Refugees is another one that you saw. These are all mods that I personally used. It's for personal use, you don't have to download them, but if you do want to make your game look completely different, then I recommend downloading all of these mods, because they really do make a big difference. But I'm not going to spend too much time on them, because I've already done these. Oh, and this one removes the Volkahard door, because, you know, I got glitched. Another one that I have gone over before, I have improved Skyrim performance, 60 FPS. I've got faster dagger swing and realistic Imperial soldiers to make the Civil War a little bit more realistic. I've got immersive gameplay, and you guys have all seen these in different mods, so I'm not going to go over them, but there is one that I should go over right here, and it's called immersive speech dialogues. Now, it completely changes speech. It completely changes it. Like, it completely changes what you say to make different type of speeches work. This guy and me share the same exact opinion on this. I don't think that the persuasion dialogues were very persuasive. I didn't really think so. So this changes the speech dialogues, and it does a really good job at it. It gives your character more character. Really. Same thing with enhanced NPC perks. It does really well. It really just makes the perks of characters a lot more, what's the word for it? Seeable, I would say. Seeable is not a word, I get it, but you could tell when somebody is good at using a one-handed weapon and when someone's not good at using a one-handed weapon. You could just tell. That's what this mod does. That's really the short version of it, but it's really good. Next mod is called Civil War Border Camps. Normally there would be refugees somewhere around here, but I'm pretty sure Markarth is one of the least involved in the Skyrim Civil War. So we'll just kind of skip over that, but here's an example of them. They just put Civil War camps on the borders of every major town and city, and depending on how involved the city is will determine how big the camps are. Like I said, Markarth is not really that involved in the Skyrim Civil War, so I guess this is all they really need.
The Legion's always looking for strong, capable warriors.
No.
If you think you've got what it takes, our headquarters are in Solitude.
There's another example of a Civil War border camp, and I think I already cleared it out because, you know, I was wanted in this area, so they all just charged me and they met me at the middle of the bridge, and we had a giant war. But normally there would be a lot of Imperials here, and if you have the realistic Imperial soldiers mod, you would have them in all heavy Imperial armor, and that would make it a lot more immersive, because it would be really hard to cross this bridge, especially if you have a Stormcloak playthrough and you have a bunch of Stormcloak followers. You could definitely do something with this, if you really do want to roleplay as a Stormcloak or an Imperial in Windhelm, like, it really does work. The next mod is actually really small in comparison to the other mods that I've showed you, but it's something that I absolutely love because of how small and actually relevant it is to my playthrough as it is. So, get your horse ass out of my face!
No.
As you can see that I have all of these followers here, and this is because I have my army going. But, how many of you actually have Sven as a follower?
Ready to get going?
Yep, yes we are.
Let's get going.
There is a mod that I would
Still
love
here.
to show you, and it's called Bard Sings Anywhere. Now, what this mod does is it allows you to take any Bard follower, so pretty much only Sven, and it lets you make him play music when you're out on your travels.
What can I do for you?
You just tell him, I'd like to hear your performance, and he'll do the drum, flute, or lute. Unfortunately, though, he does not sing, which sucks. But this is the closest we're going to get.
Of course.
You also can choose which type of drum. And you can hear all of them. It takes a while to actually get through the whole mod. So it does really help. It does really well.
Huh? Lead on.
Yes?
Now, if you're hearing him play music, you can just tell him to take a break. So let's see it.
Sure. What can I do for you?
I personally like the lute, or the flute, or the drum. Nah, I like the lute.
Of course.
Alright, let's do 2.
I understand.
Need something? Oh.
I'm about to...
Good morning.
Good morning! Let me listen to music.
Huh?
Good morning.
Oh.
And now you can tell him, can you take a break?
Sure. My voice could use a rest.
And then,
Good morning.
and he stops,
You lead, I'll follow.
and he's stopped.
I'm right behind you.
And you can tell him to do your performance again.
Lead on.
And there you go. That's how that mod works.
morning.
This mod also does awesome, and trust me, you're gonna want this mod if you want Sven to follow you around and actually sing you Bard songs.
Yes?
You're gonna actually want to have better Bard music as well, because this helps tremendously. And if you have the Creation Club like me, a backpack does make him look a lot more like a Bard. So enjoy your new Bard and enjoy your new adventures with Sven, because this boosted his personality up to like a 10.
Need something?
What you guys doing? What the fuck?
Someone do something.
It was just a skeleton!
Let's kill someone. Humble Cicero lives to serve.
Don't you think you've done enough today?
What do you need?
Go back to doing something immersive so I could show my audience, please. Thank you, Senvar. Go on, one of you sit in that chair.
Wanted me to follow in his footsteps as a hunter, but I set my aspirations a bit higher. He never complained.
What is going on?
Good morning.
On to the next mod. Alright, the next 2 mods are called Epic Crispy Graphics. You have seen this in another graphics mod review. Now, this mod is awesome. It's personally my favorite out of the bunch of graphics mod reviews that I've done. It's personally one of my favorite, especially out of that group. It's my favorite because it makes everything look a little bit more morbid. And that's kind of like what I love about Skyrim, is how it's like snowy, it's darker, it's a little bit more morbid, foggy, and all that stuff. This does exactly that, and the buildings make it match, the water, the landscape makes everything just look so much better. Definitely get this mod. I'm not going to go into detail, and I'm not going to show you exactly what it is, mainly because most of this video is showing this mod, and the fact that I've shown it in clear detail side-by-side comparison to another mod or vanilla. Now, the one I really want to get into is this one, called Wearable Elder Scroll. I have never once seen a mod so underrated. This is brilliant. Now, this is what it looks like. You can have this on any type of armor, especially mine, because mine, here, we'll do this. It fits. I mean, that's a little bit much, but for the majority of it, yeah, it fits pretty much every single armor. It fits everything, and it's so good because who wouldn't want an Elder Scroll rolling around on their back? Like, the Dragonborn is supposed to be the most powerful person in the game, but he can't even wear an Elder Scroll. Like, Serana had an Elder Scroll, she wore it. Like, when you first meet her, she was wearing an Elder Scroll on her back. Why can't the Dragonborn have the same one if he's got two in his inventory? Like, I've still got them. Look, here they are. I still have them, but I can't wear them. Why? That has always made me a little bit annoyed as soon as I saw Serana actually wearing one. So, that mod is so good. Wearable Elder Scroll. What you do is you go down to Dragon Bridge, and right by the mill, there's a chest. It's literally impossible to miss. It's right by the campfire. You just open it, and there's 50 of them. They're arrows, technically, too, which is weird, but I guess that's what Skyrim made them, because no wonder you have an animation to put them on your back. So yeah, they were made as arrows by Bethesda. So now you could just roam around with an Elder Scroll. I just recommend that you don't use a bow with them, because I personally haven't tried it, and I don't want to find out, God forbid my game gets like an aneurysm, so don't do that. Another mod that I highly recommend is TLS Crash Preventer. This is all it does, is it removes footsteps, because that's like one of the main things that break the game. BS. I haven't actually done this mod before. I haven't actually reviewed it. Now, what it does is it completely just removes everything that's bad about Skyrim. Like, this is such a good mod. It makes everything run smoothly. I don't even really know what exactly it does. It just works. I did a comparison. I did a comparison with playing with all the mods I have, and I had experienced frame rate drop, crashes. I downloaded this mod, and it was just good. It was just fine. Everything was just working, and I don't understand what they did, but whatever they did, it worked. So definitely download this mod, because to be quite frank, it just helps a lot. The next mod that I highly recommend is a little bit of a bundle. Now, this is what I call a mod bundle, and this really helps. This improves the combat system. You got more blood and gore, and Skyrim is an amazing game. Yeah, I love it when people start things like that, because like it just reminds me of the Epic Nate. But yeah, it's just awesome. More blood and gore. It makes blood splatter a lot more. You'll see more. How about I just show you? Let's see. I think I don't know if it's like extremely noticeable, but it should be noticeable to an extent. Let's see. Do I have just a normal? No, I don't. Alright, actual white one. Come here, Cicero.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done... Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
The blood splatters are a lot more, firstly, they're darker and they're bigger. So,
I'm on your side.
you can see a lot of you can see a big difference. And when you kill somebody, blood will be all over the
Need
ground.
something?
So that is just really good for the combat immersion, especially when you're dealing with like swords, axes, battle axes. Those are messy ass weapons, man. Like, it's not gonna exactly be clean when you kill somebody with a sword, a battle axe, or especially a fucking like axe, like a war axe. Like, I mean, you're literally cutting bone. This is very simple. It removes the blur from finishers. Simple as that. Now this is a big one that you're gonna have to get into, and I'm gonna have to take a little bit of time to explain. So let's get right into it, yeah? Alright. The changes have mainly been made for realism and a little bit more extra challenge. Let's just see. I know exactly what this mod does. So here's the part that I specifically want to move on, or I want to focus mainly on this. Humans move slower and animals move faster. Different types of weapons will affect how mobile you are. Sneaking is slower, strafing is slower. Pretty much every bit of movement makes sense. You'll actually feel like a person who has weight and momentum, not an arcadey camera whipping from corner to corner like a superhero. Yeah, that is something that I noticed right away, is your character will take time to actually move. Your character will actually take time to do things. Rather than just being able to instantly turn around and shit like that, your character will actually move and turn around. Like, he can't just teleport behind him. He can't just look right behind him. He'll actually turn around. And that's really cool. Two-handed weapons. They're slower, but they do more damage. I definitely noticed that. One-handed weapons, they are a little bit slower, but they're not as slower. But daggers are still really fast. Your ability to move while having an arrow pulled aiming is reduced, so depending on factors such as difficulty settings or other mods, technical position can actually be a thing now. Yes. I don't use arrows that much, so you archer mains, you probably know what that is. Casting magic has a little effect on movement in case you mages out there are wondering, but do remember that unlike vanilla movement, running backward and strafing is much slower than an enemy charging you at full force. So yes, that is something that I noticed right off the bat when I downloaded this mod. When you move backwards, you're slower. So you can't just back run away from a person anymore. You actually have to turn around and run. Like, you can't just back away. You can't just backpedal the whole time. People will run at you. You'll notice that is a lot slower.
Good morning.
Now watch.
Huh?
Running forward. Now running backwards. You can't
Need something?
just
Yes?
backwards run away from anybody anymore. Realistic conversations. I cannot tell you how much I love this mod, because it does something so minor, but it makes everything so much better. Like, if I say, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'm great, man. Thank you. Have a good day. You know what I mean? It removes the pause, and it makes everything less awkward. It'll be like, hi, how are you? Hey, I'm good. Thanks, man. Have a good day. You know what I mean? It'll be a lot easier to just understand what they're saying, so you can follow along. It's like an actual conversation, and there's no pauses anymore. Do this one, which is called Better Combat AI. Better Combat AI, Xever. Jesus Christ. Alright. Smarter NPC behavior. Power attacks are more effective. They attack more aggressively when in group. They try to bash and they try to stagger you. They attack their enemy when they're not blocking. They attempt to block. They disengage from melee combat when they gain distance from the enemy. Archers are more prone to draw melee weapons if available. If they believe they're getting charged for balance, archers will now have a higher preferred distance away from their enemy. Attempt to circle their enemy if they can't find an angle for an attack. Archers and mages have increased desire to navigate away from enemies to avoid melee combat. NPCs will now search a wider radius when alerted. NPCs will travel further distances and have higher preference for picking up better weapons. So yeah, if I wanted to get into it, it would be a 1-hour video. And I don't like 1-hour videos because that's a lot of editing. So yeah, that little bundle is my entire combat system. And that's actually really good. The next mod that I personally use is called Rustic Weathers and Lightning. It makes everything a little bit more morbid and foggy and like cloudy, rainy, lightning, and all that kind of junk. It's really good. I definitely like it. It's my favorite weathers mod. And yeah, I definitely recommend that you use this. We're finally getting back to the end of this mod review. Now, you've all seen the animation ring, so I won't get into that. Akaviri Blades backup is personal use. It works. Essential followers, personal use. Free player home, personal use. This and the I am your fan is personal use. You've seen him in all my videos, but you all know exactly who we're looking at. We're looking at the sexy Whiterun guard. Reasonable guard dialogue makes guards more aware about what you're wearing, what's going on around them, and other things like that. For example, if you're wearing dwarven armor, the guards will, instead of like just saying anything about armor in general, they'll actually comment on your dwarven armor. The guards will start to take note of things that you have done in the past, and they just talk like they're actually looking at you, like they actually can see you, and it doesn't feel like stock dialogue. It actually feels like the guards are actually alive and they're actually aware of what's going on around them. And that concludes this Skyrim mod review. And for the outro, we got some realistic rain. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to have a Taros Army video coming up next because we had some amazing reactions from those involved. And you guys were utterly ruthless as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will get out of my intro! Go away. Thank you guys so much for watching. I gotta start running because these guys are... Okay, he's catching up to me. They're ruining my intros. And they're ruining my scenes. But thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.